This episode of To Make Sense was brought to you by the following sponsors.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated!
And by contributions to your TWIMC station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, Will here, and we are back once again with another episode. We are back with another episode to Make Concerned. You didn't expect that, did you?
No, I did not expect the Scott the Woz intro.
I just wanted to do it again, because, I remember the first time we did it, is because we spent the beginning of the episode talking about it, and,
Yeah.
But this time around, we had no such conversation related to Scott the Wise, so...
It was completely off guard, I can say, with 100% certainty, that I was caught completely off guard.
I caught Steven lacking. I caught him lacking.
Yeah, he did. I guess you could say that.
Yeah. But anyways, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of To Make Certain. If you've never seen the podcast before, or if you've ever heard this podcast before, because we are on streaming services now, like Spotify, Apple, all that.
All that.
But if
yeah.
you've never consumed our podcast before, this is where I will deliver topics, and the man to my right, Steven, he will respond to those topics. He may or may not know what I'm talking about, but hey, we're here, and we steer you into the right direction.
Or into a tree. You know, you never really know.
Yeah. And, before we got started, usually what we do audio tests, and he sends it to Google Drive, and I told him, when you get that audio test, finished recording, put it in Drive. Don't put it in Perk, don't put it in Neutral, put it in Drive. So, alright. And as you can tell, for everybody who is watching this podcast, and decides, you know what, these people talking, I could just listen to them and not have to see their faces. But you know what? I am going to see their faces. For y'all watching, first of all, thank you. And second of all, you may notice I'm in a new room. This is the dorm that I'm staying for summer housing. So what we're doing is I am taking on Steven's role of being held hostage at college.
It's his turn.
It's my turn, yeah.
Yes, and on my end, if you notice with me, I happen to be back at my house for this podcast recording. I'm not technically completely home for the summer yet because I have to go back to college to do one more thing at some point, probably this week. But then after that, I'm going to be back. No, it's actually one more thing this time. I promise.
That's what they all say.
Anyway, I will be actually back.
I talked about this before, but I guarantee you, the Auburn president himself is going to come up with something that'll force you to stay.
Yes. Because as we all know, Auburn as an entity, as an organization, is conspiring directly against me specifically as an individual, and only me. And
there's several evidence. There's several evidence of that happening throughout this podcast. Have you seen the amount of times we had to pause the episode due to our campus Wi-Fi crashing on us?
Yes.
That's clearly them sabotaging us specifically.
I mean, we even have an episode directly named Auburn Tries to Sabotage Our Podcast.
Honestly, we could just title every episode that. You know what? I might go ahead and do that.
So yeah, keep a lookout.
That's going to be titled this episode. You know, I'm just going to rename the podcast. How about I rename the podcast to Auburn is Trying to Sabotage Us?
Yes, that's just the entire theme now.
All right, let's redo the intro. Redo the intro. Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Auburn is Trying to Sabotage Us. We are back once again with another episode for y'all. And if you haven't noticed by now, I think Auburn is trying to sabotage us.
I just get this strange feeling.
Just a hunch.
right?
Allegedly.
Yeah, we don't want to be sued for defamation, but I'm just saying. You know, it just seems a little too convenient.
Yeah,
how many
it's
times
gonna
our
go back.
Wi-Fi has gone down every time we record an episode.
I'm gonna go back to Auburn for my one more thing before I actually come home. I'm gonna get called into the dean's office, and they're gonna pull up this episode and be like, "You want to explain this to me?"
And if that happens, that's your problem, not mine.
Well, it's gonna become your problem when I have to stop making episodes.
Well, as you said in the previous episode, I can always find another host.
That's true. Well, I mean, I'm not the host anyway. I'm just here for
Or
content.
find another co-host. You're the co-host, right? So if that happens, I'm going to. I'm not even going to hire another person. I'm just going to create a Steven clone.
Yes.
I have a few that are in my basement that I'm just. I'm waiting for the day that you either get held hostage or whatever the case may be, in which you can't do this episode again. I will pull one of those clones out, and I will just put a couple of AA batteries in them, and
AA batteries.
Like
that's all it takes. You heard it here first, folks. All it takes to replicate the entirety of the human consciousness: 2 AA batteries.
No, not the human consciousness, just your consciousness.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was a little mean.
Okay, wow. Nah, that was good though. I will give that one to you. That was extremely well executed. Bravo.
Okay. AA batteries, insertion, and Steven aside.
Excuse me? I didn't consent to this.
All that aside, we don't need to worry about that. I do. Speaking of consent, I do have a pretty humorous first topic, which is actually about this new room. Or actually, it's not so much about this room; it's so much about how I got to this room. Because the move-out process. The move-out process for me from my previous dorm into this wasn't as straightforward as you might expect. Let me explain. So, because I signed up for summer housing, the move-in date that I was given to move into this dorm was let me look at my calendar real quick to remind myself. It was May 6th on a Tuesday. And I think what I'm about to reference. When did the last episode come out? I'm gonna double check right now.
Good question. Yeah, I could.
Because I remember this particular story I'm talking about happened literally the day after, like the morning after. Actually, I don't think it was. It wasn't. The episode itself wasn't released the day after. We filmed the episode the day after this happened, or the day before this happened. But the episode came out May 8th, but I think we filmed it on like we filmed it on that Thursday, like May 1st or something.
I don't know. I can look back through the DMs and find out which day we filmed it.
Yeah, but regardless, so me and Steven, we recorded that episode, and so how the move-in. Here's what I was on about. So the move-in date for this particular dorm was May 6th of 2025, which is this year, and
in case you didn't know,
the final day to move out of the previous dorm for everybody who wasn't in summer housing was April 30th. So basically, they gave you about 6 days, a 6-day span of staying in this dorm past the initial last day, and that's going to be important for later. So I watch everyone move out, and there's like a handful of people left. So it's like, all right, now I just gotta wait until May 6th comes around, and I can just move out and move into this particular dorm. So on Friday, May 2nd, It was like 12 or something, and I was in bed sleeping because
As you do.
I usually go to sleep at like 3 a.m. and I wake up 12 p.m. You know how it is.
Yeah,
And,
that's all right.
So I'm laying in bed, and I have the blankets half covering me, and I'm pretty much practically naked, only wearing a pair of underwear. When suddenly, a pair of people suddenly knocked on my door and walked in, and it was RA. And by the way, all three of these people were girls, so they were just they walked in, they see this big man sleeping on a bed with like the blankets half covering him, and then they come in. It's like, you're supposed to be moved out, right? And as I was waking up, I had to like, I just looked at them, just like, what?
What?
And it took me a second to process what they were saying, and in my mind, I was like, okay, they think I'm probably not part of summer housing, so let me explain it to them. Oh no, I'm actually part of summer housing, so I don't move out until May 6th. And once I told them, they were like, okay, and they left. So afterwards,
Okay.
I just had to spend a good while being like, what the hell? What the hell just happened? Like you have these RA people come in, be like, hey, you gotta leave. And if it wasn't for me telling them my situation, they probably would have, I don't know what they would have done if they, like, I'm imagining if they weren't convinced by what I told them, what would they do?
What are you doing, Step RA?
What?
If for the people watching and or listening, if you don't understand that reference, good.
Okay. That aside, that made me think, wait a minute, was I fed false information? Was I supposed to move out earlier? So I get paranoid, and I look into it, and apparently I found out there was an extra step to the process that I completely missed. Whereas if I was going to stay for the rest of the week, like until May 6th when I move out, I needed to call up someone to like approve me to stay the extra few days, which I thought they just did that automatically when you sign up for summer housing. But whatever.
Nope.
So it was because of that RA bust into my room. But you just gotta understand, right? I got an extra set bed here because I'm in a two bed dorm room, but the other roommate hasn't moved in yet. So you just gotta understand. I was literally just like, whoa.
Honk. Me.
Yeah. Just imagine a big guy like this, just sleeping, and you just, yeah. So this is a podcast milestone. This is the first time you've seen. Well, actually, no, I've done that bit before where I just hop onto the bed behind me and I just go to sleep, just like. But
Mostly when I start talking about today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is.
Yep, works every time. Next time I have trouble falling asleep, I'll just call up Steven and ask him to tell me about today's sponsor. And
yeah, fun fact: if you ever need to fall asleep quickly, just listen to a random YouTuber talk about how today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
You know what's funny? It's been a while since I've heard anyone actually be sponsored by them. Raid Shadow Legends kind of fell off.
Probably because people figured out how bad of a game it was.
I mean, I personally never played it, so I can't really be the judge of that. All I knew was that everyone was being sponsored by it, and I think it's just one of those things where it's like, when you hear about something so much, it causes kind of like a backlash effect for a lot of people hate on it just because
Yeah.
it's like the number one thing being talked about.
It's like it becomes a meme to hate on it.
Pretty much. Which is something that we've played into many,
Yes.
many times. So, so yeah, that's the story of how three girls broke into my room as I was sleeping on my bed naked.
That should be the podcast title. What a title that would be.
That's the title of this episode. Three girls found Will sleeping naked. What happens next will shock you.
What happens next will shock you. Yes, it's perfect.
Or even better, the clickbait, gone sexual.
Yes.
You remember that clickbait thing? Alright. So next up, this is also another story that happened recently. And this story, when it happened, initially I was just so... I think it was because that day that happened, I was just so enraged. Or no, I was just having a bad day. And when this particular thing happened, and once I tell it to you, you'll kind of both get it, but you also might not get. But let me just set the scene for you. So you've been to Walmart plenty of times, I'm sure.
Yeah, a few times.
So I'm not sure if they do this. I'm not sure if they do this at every Walmart, but for the Walmart that I go to in Jacksonville, they always have someone who's by the door, who's by like the security thing, and once you check out, once you get your groceries, they will stop you and they will read your receipt to make sure that everything that's in your buggy is something that you bought. Right?
Yeah, I think they're supposed to do that at every Walmart. Like, that's a thing that they're supposed to do, but most of the time with the Walmarts that I've been to, they don't actually do their job, and, like, they have the people there, like, someone's always there, and, like, their job is to, like, check their receipts and do that like they're supposed to, but half the time they don't actually do it, and they just kind of ignore you, so...
I've experienced that, too, where, like, some of the employees are chill like that, but then you get those, old employees who are like real sticklers for the rules, and they like, no, let me see your receipt. So as a whole, it's something that's like usually I'm okay with because it's like, sure, whatever. I mean, the security bars that you like walk through should be doing the job for you to see if anyone stole anything, but whatever. But that's besides the point. So this particular day, I came to Walmart and I was already in kind of a pissed off mood. So I was just like, all right, let me just grab wherever and then let me just get out real quick. I really don't want to be here. So I got my things and I went and I waited in line at the self-checkout because sometimes at the self-checkout there's like a little line that forms. And after about a minute, there was like a Walmart employee who came up and told everyone, hey y'all, there's a lane open that y'all can go to. That has like the employee that like scans the stuff for you. So I was like,
no,
all right, sure, I'll go
I
to
wouldn't.
that one.
I would be like, I can't even remember the last time I don't know if I've ever went to like an actual lane at Walmart. I've always just gone to the self-checkout.
When I was a kid and I went with my parents to Walmart, and like they would always go to those lanes where they had the employee check, like the employee scan it and bag it for you. But on my own at college, I've always just gone to the self-checkout. But yeah, I go through the lane and they check out everything. And after all is said and done, I pay for my groceries. They hand me the receipt. Now, I've been to Walmart several times, so I know the dealio by now. You know, have the receipt ready. So I take the receipt and I put it in my pocket, and then I walk to the exit, and I see this old dude, this old employee, and I can already tell just by seeing him that he's going to stop me and see
sometimes
through
you
my
can,
receipt.
You can just tell.
Yeah, you can just tell, right? And I could tell he was probably going to be one of those slow people as well, like one of those slow readers. He just like he takes the receipt and he's just like, milk. What like he was gonna read out every single item, just like, and I look into my bug and it's like,
Just like,
yeah, I see milk, I see yeah, like just like do all that.
I
So
noticed that your water is actually not the correct brand.
it says water on the receipt. Yeah, and on the bottles it says Aquafina or whatever bottle brands are.
Yeah.
And it's like, so that's clearly not water. If it was Aquafina, it would say so on the receipt. Like, but that's not really what happened. What happened was, so okay, I have my groceries, I have my receipt in my pocket, and I'm prepared to take it out. So I get to the guy and he's like, "Can I see your receipt?" And I'm like, "All right." And I search through my pockets. The receipt is gone, and I'm like, "What?
A
I
mystery."
literally just had it." A mystery. And it's like I'm checking it, and like I'm doing, like in shows or something, like when the characters just do this. Like,
Yeah, it's like, I could have sworn I just had it.
Or like when someone's asking for money and they're just like, "Uh-oh, I'm broke." They just do that.
And then they make like the fourth wall breaking face at the camera, like,
Or-
oh no.
Oh no. What would happen sometimes is like they pull out the pockets and it's empty, and like a little small thing will like fly out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah, to like really emphasize how empty it is. But yeah, I couldn't find the receipt, and I'm like, dude, I swear, I literally just had it. And all he said was, "Well, you gotta go back and get another receipt." And it's just like, it was in that moment, I was already in a bad mood, but I was just like, you see everything in the bags. I can only get to these Walmart bags by going through checkout. So like, so what if I don't have a receipt? You still can clearly see that I bought these things by the fact that they're in a bag. So that was just kind of what I thought. I didn't say that to him, obviously, because I don't want to be rude to employees. But I in a huff, I just turned around and I just walked back, preparing to go to the employee. But as I was walking, guess what I saw on the ground?
There, your receipt.
A receipt, yeah. So I went up to it, I picked it up, I looked at it to make sure it was actually my receipt, and I saw it was. So I walked back, gave it to him, and I just left. And so that was just one of those things where it's like, on any other day, I probably would have been like, all right, whatever. But because it was on a day where I was just already pissed off, that really got me heated up. On my drive home, I was just like, ugh. Like, I was just like seething with anger. Like, I eventually had to calm myself down by just like breathing, just like, it's okay. That guy's just a dumbass. Or it's not even the guy was dumb. He was just like so much of a stickler to the rules that he was just refusing to let me go until he saw the paper in my hand. And it's like, if had I gone back to that spot and the receipt wasn't there, and if I had like gone up to the guy and he was like busy with other customers, I actually don't know what I would have done. Like,
just stand there, just waiting. Just
yeah. And I just go up to the employee like, "Hey, you gave me a receipt earlier, but it fell out of my pockets. Can you give me another one?" And it's like, I don't even know how he would make another one unless he would to like bring up everything again.
I don't know. I think there's a
like,
way that you can. Well, it probably depends on what like system Walmart uses for their checkouts. But I can tell you, when I worked at Publix, the system that we used, there was a way where you could go back and like see like previous orders that you did and like reprint out the receipts from them. So if they had a similar system, they probably could have done that. But I don't know if Walmart uses a similar system to what Publix uses. That's just what it was at Publix. So
okay, because if I had to like, if the only way to reprint a receipt was to buy the groceries again, oh nah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that either. I would have been like, I would have gone like, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have
Again.
just gotten the because that employee, since you went through the the actual checkout line, that employee probably remembers you just enough to know oh yeah, I checked that dude out. He paid for his stuff.
But what if the guy is just no, I need to see a receipt.
Well,
Where are your receipts?
That's when you have to pull the Karen move and ask for the manager and get the manager to be okay, well, you obviously this guy checked him out, he paid for his stuff, just let him go. I don't know.
And by the time it's over, the store is already closed.
Yeah,
and
basically.
All the have gone home.
Basically.
And the milk that I've bought has already been soiled because it's been out, not in a refrigerator.
Yes. I don't know. In my opinion, it would be worth it for not having to pay double for groceries, basically, with how expensive groceries are these days.
But yeah, that's just my story about Walmart security. And their excessive need to see receipts.
Yeah,
I really am wondering,
if I remember correctly, the whole reason why they started doing that in the first place was because of how common it was for people to be stealing from Walmart. Walmart got stolen from a lot more than other places, I think, and so that was why they started implementing the receipt checking thing. I know some other places have it too, but
here's what confuses me. Here's what confuses me about that. When you go to a Walmart, every single one of them has those scanner things, right? Aren't they supposed to do the job? If you go through if a QR thing goes through it and it's not labeled as paid for, then shouldn't they go off? Should that be doing the job?
I'm not entirely sure because I
guess I just don't understand how those scanners work. But if that's not what they're there for, what are they there for?
Good question. I don't.
If you're still using actual employees to go through your receipts.
I don't know. I'd have to do some research on it probably to see.
Which makes me think if I really wanted to, what if? And I'm not saying I would do this, but what if I decided to get a whole bunch of things and I just don't pay for it, but instead I come to Walmart with a fake receipt that I basically get a receipt printer and I make it look exactly like the Walmart receipt, and I just put everything that I'm planning on stealing on the receipt, hand it to them, and they see it and they're like, oh yeah, it's a receipt, okay, everything's on the list, yeah, you're good, and I just walk out. That's how I that's how I
the funny
that probably
part
would
is,
not work. That would probably not work, but it's just a funny idea.
The funny part is I don't really see why it wouldn't work. Again, not condoning that you should do it. Definitely don't do that. However, I don't see why it wouldn't work. I know some of the high value items electronics and stuff have the security tags on them that will cause an alarm to go off if you try to steal them before they cut them off. But if you're just getting groceries or something, if you had a receipt printer, you literally could just print a fake receipt and it would probably work. You can even put your actual card on there, so it'd be a real card. You could put the date that you're gonna be there, so the date's correct, and
yeah.
But again,
and,
don't actually do that. It's just hypothetical.
Yeah. Of course, there's other parts of this that just would make it not work. And that reminds me, there's a video I saw where there is evidence that the scanner, the security thing does work. And I think you're right that it is for expensive stuff. I think that might be how they have it set up. And in the video that I saw, someone pulled a prank on someone, and it's one of the most diabolical things I've seen. So basically, you know how a lot of creators follow the Mr. Beast formula of giving away things, hey man, you just won $10,000 and just walk off.
To be fair, I don't watch Mr. Beast or people who do similar things. But
you know those videos exist though, right? Just people who will just give away things.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen.
And they make those videos to make themselves look virtuous. Wow, what a good guy I am. And that's a whole other thing. But this video had a guy and he basically pretended to be one of those giveaway guys, and he went up to someone and was like, hey sir, you just won a pair of AirPods. And like this guy's like, what? Really? And I was like, I just won these? And the guy's like, yeah, you like, here you go. This is a giveaway. And then when the guy tried to walk out with them, the alarm went off. Showing that
you just walk up to someone in Walmart with something with one thing from the shelf and be like, hey, you just won this.
And they walk out with the security thing showing that they stole it. Just one of those things that's just so.
The security is like, you know, trying to get to them, and they're like, wait, you don't understand. They tricked me.
And it's like it's incredibly messed up for someone to do that, but at the same time, it is kind of funny, right?
It would be pretty funny.
Like,
I'll say that.
It's one of those things where it's funny to watch, but if it happened to you, you would probably crash out on the guy if you saw him.
I mean, I'd crash out on people for much less severe things than that.
But yeah, so that's the story of Walmart security. All right, so I got one more topic, and then we got a patent pending lyrical analysis segment, and I assume patent pending, yes. Because it's literally trademarked by us. It's a trademark segment now.
Yes, we'll trademarked it specifically for us.
For us, yes. If anyone else decides to do a lyrical analysis, or like if they try to analyze lyrics, we're going to be able to sue them.
Yes.
So that's going to be the title of this episode. We copyright analysis. We copyright the concept of analysis.
Yeah, the entire concept of analysis. Not even just lyrical analysis. Yes. Any kind of analysis is just copyright of us.
Yeah. And if anyone tries to do it and we sue them, they're going to be forced into retirement.
Yes.
And speaking of retirement, have you heard of the concept of retiring numbers?
Retiring numbers?
Yeah.
I have heard of a concept of like retiring denominations of currency because they're like not valuable enough anymore, but that's like the closest thing I can think of.
Yeah, let me explain what this topic is, because that is 100% what you're describing is not it. It's not what I was referring to.
I mean, I tried, man.
It's good. It's good. It's fine. All right. So in sports, specifically football, I'm pretty sure they might do this in other sports too, but for the purpose of this topic, we're just going to refer to American football. In football, specifically like NFL or college or whatnot, when a player becomes notable enough, they become known enough for their talent, and they bring a lot of success to the team. Typically, what would happen is after said player retires, the team decides to retire their jersey number. A good example would be Tom Brady, who was a famous quarterback for the Patriots who won multiple Super Bowl championships for the team. And when he retired, his jersey number 12 was retired by the Patriots. And what that means is basically no other player can take the number 12 anymore. So that's just a simple concept of retiring jersey numbers. And a lot of people have mixed opinions on this practice. And I have a couple of interesting things to say about it. Because, first of all, let's say a team has existed for like hundreds of years, right? Let's say they have multiple notable people, multiple notable players who all wear various different numbers. Eventually, if they keep retiring numbers, because keep in mind, there's like only 99 options for numbers that you can wear on your jersey. Let's say there's been 50 notable players throughout the team's history, and all their jersey numbers have been retired. What happens after that? in which like a 53-man roster all have to pick numbers, and there's not enough numbers to pick that are like unique enough.
I mean, I guess at a certain point they would just go back to like some. Well, okay, they kind of have two options that you could do. Like the way I see it, I see like two main options that they could do. Right, either you go back around to like the very earliest players, like very earliest numbers that were retired, and start like unretiring them and using them because like they're very old, or you start unretiring numbers based on like which of the players that were notable enough to have their numbers retired, which players are the least notable, and basically just kind of start ranking the retired players, and like the ones near the bottom start getting their numbers unretired. And so they have to go to the retired players and be like, sorry man, we ran out of numbers, so we decided that you were not good enough and we are unretiring your number.
So that is a funny idea, ranking how notable all these legends are, and like whoever's the least legendary or the least notable, they're not notable enough to have their number restricted from the other players who are playing on the team.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could also just like use 3 numbers instead of just 2. Because like that's a thing you can also do, is just use 3 numbers.
Well, that's not something that I can see happening in football, because there's only so much space that you can put the numbers, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
if you move up to 3 digits, you're gonna have to like skinify the numbers, and it's gonna become harder to tell from a distance.
But like,
right?
aren't they usually just like across like the back of the jersey though? Because like, I mean, like,
well, they're on the front, they're on the back, sometimes they're on the side, but like they're specifically made bold enough so that, let's say a ref sees someone committing a foul, like they have to be able to see the numbers on the player's jersey to call out that said player's number.
I feel like with
like
what I've seen,
offense number 25 on the offense, like.
I feel like with what I've seen, because like I've watched college football, right, and like it might be different in the NFL, but like for college football jerseys, right, the numbers are already pretty big. I feel like there's enough space on the jersey that you could probably fit 3 digits on there and still have it be big enough to be readable from a distance.
Suppose it's possible, but I'm just saying, like, in this already pretty out there, like, hypothetical of like 50 plus notable players having their jerseys retired, like, obviously that's probably not gonna happen, because like retiring numbers only happens after a player has been with the team for a significant amount of years, and there's only so many years. Like, I'm not entirely sure how much longer like something like the NFL or like college football, because like it's been a thing for like a couple hundred years, but it's like, what's it? And I think the practice, I'm not entirely sure when the practice of retiring numbers started happening. That's something I could probably look up real quick, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to get to the point where we're going to like run out of numbers. But I just think it's a funny idea of like, what if that did happen? But the other thing, okay, I'm just gonna look it up later. But the other thing that I find interesting about this is not necessarily the practice itself, but it's how other people react to it. So the main thing that inspired this whole discussion was the Atlanta Falcons. One of the rookies who we recently drafted, Jalen Walker, he recently decided to pick the number 11, which was previously a retired number from Julio Jones. And Julio Jones himself, from what I understand, he gave his blessings for Jalen Walker to take the number. But even with that, there were a lot of people still angry at Jalen Walker for taking the retired number. And I think the reason for that is a lot of people associate the number with the player who's like a notable player, and is a player that a lot of the fan base, it's kind of like a lot of their favorite players. So by seeing someone else wear that number, it's just kind of a weird feeling, because that number is so heavily tied to that particular person. And right. I think that's why this idea of retiring jersey numbers, it was more of a thing to avoid that type of reaction. But I don't know. For me, still, it's just kind of a silly thing. It's like it's just numbers, man.
It's just numbers, man.
Like on the one hand, I kind of get it on the basis of just like, yeah, I get like seeing that number and like immediately having that connection to that particular player. But on the other hand, it's like if this rookie Jalen Walker, if he wants to just take the number 11, I say he has every right to.
But that, and also like if the player that like the number was retired for, like basically explicitly said, like, cause it's kind of like his number in a way, I guess. And like when at the point when that player specifically says like, yeah, I am completely okay with this other player like taking this number, I think it should be fine anyway, but it's like especially more fine if the player that the number's associated with like says it's fine, since it's like their number.
But still, a lot of the fan base, they still have like reservations for that because of the fact that they see that number as being particularly special because of
to that I say who put them in charge? They're just fans.
It's not necessarily a matter of who's in charge. I think it's just a matter of like how they feel.
Who cares how the fans?
Being...
Well, actually, the teams probably care about how the fans feel because that's how they get money.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And it's like, it's not everyone who's like super upset about it. It's just a number of people.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I feel like this, in a way, kind of ties back into the kind of overall theme of people getting way too serious about sports that they're not even involved in. And football especially has this, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's like a whole thing. We've talked about it before.
Right. But yeah, that's the end of that topic. All right. And without further ado, to make a turn, would like to introduce you, the viewer or listener, to the lyrical analysis segment. And it's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, I had to do like a double take because I was remembering, like, we've actually already done 3 other lyrical analyses before, and I thought it was less than that because I didn't remember doing that many, but we've done 3 of these, so.
We've done the Bohemian Rhapsody, we've done The Sound of Silence, and we've done the Something in the Way. We've done those 3, and now the song that we are announcing is Sugar by the band System of a Down.
Oh, wait.
Now,
wait a minute. Is Sugar in the name of the song?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is probably
Okay, I thought System of a Down was the name of the song, and Sugar was the person who wrote it.
No. Yeah, it's funny too. Like, if you don't know, it does kind of seem like System of a Down works better as a song name rather than a band name. But no, the band is called System of a Down, and the song is called Sugar.
Okay.
So
that makes slightly more sense, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, let me explain a little bit about this band, System of a Down. They are a rock band. And
I can tell.
They have a lot of songs which I feel have very interesting songwriting because in many respects it's not very cohesive, but at the same time there is a narrative and there is a theme behind what the frontman Serge. I just know his first name Serge. I don't remember what his last name is, but He has an interesting way of writing these songs, and I could probably do a whole bunch of their songs for this lyrical analysis segment because I always like to pick songs where the lyrics are kind of. Oh, I just remembered. We actually did a 4th one of these lyrical analysis. We also did the the Cowboy Kid one.
Oh yeah, that was. I thought that was the one you were talking about when you said "Sound of Silence."
Oh no, "Sound of Silence" was the one where
I didn't remember the "Sound of Silence" one.
With the neon lights, like. Yeah, that was the other one we did. But,
my bad, chat. 4. We've done 4 previously, and this is the 5th one.
And now this is our 5th. This is our 5th one, as can be seen by the cover art. which is literally a hand showing that we've done 5.
Yes, because obviously that was what the writer had in mind when they made that cover art. It was because they knew that this was going to be the 5th song that we here on To Whom It May Concern covered as a
and they
part
need
of a
to
lyric
clarify it
analysis.
to us. You know, the frontman who writes all these songs, he's very forward-thinking. He's incredibly forward-thinking. So that's something we need to keep in mind.
I guess that's why they call him a frontman.
Yeah, so that's why. Yes, because he's forward ahead of everyone, so his thinking is always going to be forward thinking. But that is something we're going to keep in mind when we analyze this song, and we need to figure out what does this song mean. What is the message that is being conveyed? That is something we are going to have to figure out.
I will also say before you actually start the segment, I'll also give you my Steven certified initial reaction from my first listening through of this song from when Will sent it to me as homework. Being obviously it's like very much a heavy metal song, like that's why I said I can tell that this band is a rock band, because it is very much a heavy metal song. And I also couldn't really understand very many of the lyrics, but from the lyrics I could understand, I did hear something about mushroom people, and then that so the stuff that he said about mushroom people and like just the general style of like how he's basically just screaming the entire song, and like it's not actually singing as much as it is just ranting about who knows what. The specific message
about mushroom people.
Yes, the specific message that I sent to Will about my initial reaction was that bro was definitely on several somethings while writing this. So yeah, I think that the person who wrote this song definitely did it while high. Yeah.
And I will say, before getting into this, there is somewhat of a drug reference in this song. But we will get into that. We will get into that. So let's start off with reading out this chorus, which is repeated about 3 times in this song. So
pretty standard for
so let's
a chorus,
read this
I
out.
think.
It's a chorus. Unless you want, yeah. So let's read this out. The kombucha mushroom people sitting around all day. Who can believe you? Who can believe you? Let your mother pray. So you mentioned before how you noticed the mushroom people being mentioned because it's the first thing and it's the most it's repeated 3 times. That's the chorus. So who are the kombucha mushroom people? We need to figure this out. Obviously, for this analysis, Google and like any outside sources, we don't use those. This is purely
we figured this out based on our own
based
interpretation.
only on what we know, because as you know, we are the smartest intellectuals on this planet. So if you're going to believe anyone in their interpretation of the songs, this should be us. So with that said, Steven, who are the mushroom people?
Well, going based off of the general theme of this song being written by someone while they were obviously high, I'm going to say that the kombucha mushroom people are hallucinations that this person who is writing the song is seeing. And he's saying that they're sitting around all day because, you know, this seems like the kind of person who is constantly high all the time. So he's always seeing these mushroom people and they're just kind of sitting around not doing anything. So he puts into this song while writing it that the kombucha mushroom people are sitting around all day. And who can believe you probably refers to the fact that he tells people about these mushroom people and nobody's believing him because obviously nobody else can see these people.
Okay, so basically, we start this off with a guy who is commenting on these mushroom people that he sees. He sees these mushroom people, but he does not know anyone else who believes him. And the way he phrases it, it's like, who can believe you? I think he's telling the mushroom people this. Who can believe that you exist?
Yes. I think you might be onto something there. Like nobody.
And then this next part where this next part where he says, "Let your mother pray." So, how does this fit into the whole thing? Letting mothers pray.
I feel like there's two possible interpretations that you could kind of give to this. The one is like if he's kind of like, so like obviously this is being written in second person, so like he's addressing the listener of the song. There's a possibility that he could be writing this in kind of the form that you sometimes see where he's kind of addressing himself, and like the you that he's referring to is himself, and he's kind of like just like referring to himself that way, or he's still talking to the mushroom people.
He's telling the mushroom people to let their mother pray.
So the two things, right? So if he's referring to himself here, he could be saying like, maybe your mother is praying because like, you're talking about mushroom people and she's worried about you or something. Or the interpretation that I like better because it's funnier, he's telling the mushroom people's mother to pray because he's going to do something very terrible to them because he doesn't like them. Because they're sitting around all day and not doing anything. And so he's going to fix that.
So we've already established that this singer is very... I'm just going to call him singer because he's the one who performs the song. But like I said, if you heard the song before, it's not necessarily singing. It's just like, it's just a performance, I guess you could call it best. But this line, "Let your mother pray," telling to the mushroom people, almost like a threat. And it's like, we already established that the singer is high. Who's to say that these mushroom people aren't what he's consuming to get high? Because if you eat mushrooms, you do go on a trip, and you do get high from that. Right?
Yes. Very much so.
So he's telling the mushroom people, listen, you're sitting around all day. No one believes that you exist and that you're sentient beings, but I know it. So when consuming you, I am going to be aware of that fact. So you need to let your mother pray for your sake so that when you do get consumed, you can go to mushroom heaven.
whatever the equivalent of that is.
Mushroom heaven. And then, so after this interaction, we get a single word repeated twice, and it's sugar. So where does sugar come into this?
Maybe this is to kind of go out on a bit of a limb here with this interpretation, but maybe sugar is like what he thinks. Like obviously he's high, right? So he did something to get on this. Maybe he thinks he was just having sugar. Maybe someone told him it was sugar. And now he's, in this kind of alternate broken reality from all these drugs that he did that were very much not sugar, but he still thinks they were sugar. And so he's talking about how sugar is making all of this happen. It's responsible for these mushroom people. He ate sugar. He ate sugar, and then the mushroom people showed up. So the sugar is responsible for this.
So you're saying he's on a sugar rush?
A very severe one. Or he thinks he's on a sugar rush, at least.
And the funny thing about this is that sugar, when used in songs, could also refer to cocaine. Because, they're both white stuff, so sometimes that similarity can happen. But for the sake of this analysis, let's just say it's not cocaine. Let's just say it is sugar, because I think that is hilarious.
It's funnier.
And that is the case. If this individual is someone who is taking so much sugar that they are starting to have drug-like hallucinations. Who's to say that this singer's not just a kid who just ate a whole bunch of Halloween candy?
And he's just going on a really wild trip because of it.
And he's probably out in the garden watching the mushroom that his dad's growing or something. And that could be. But we will go through the song to confirm whether he is just a kid or if he's still an adult. He still does do drugs, but on top of that, he does sugar as well.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Maybe that's the secret. Maybe instead of snorting cocaine, he snorts sugar, and maybe that gets you on more of a high.
Maybe sugar is just the undiscovered psychoactive drug that people don't know about.
I mean, sugar does often get compared as like it is often referred to as the legal drug because of how it gets you addicted.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly kind of accurate.
Yeah, so maybe the song is a commentary on that. Maybe it's a commentary on how sugar is allowed to be just a thing consumed, even though it's just as addictive as doing something like mushroom people.
Doing the mushroom people. Wait, when did we get here?
Or just doing mushrooms that you see as mushroom people, you know. But
Yeah.
anyways, so we get that as the chorus, and now we move on to the first verse. So let's read out some of this. I'm not there all the time. You know, some people call it insane. Yeah, they call it insane. So he is talking about not being there. And I think the best way to think of this is he's saying he's not there mentally all the time.
Yeah.
So
Either,
he
or
could be high.
maybe he means he's not high all the time. He's not in the place with the mushroom people all the time. And so people are calling him insane when he's there, but he's not there all the time. So maybe he's not completely addicted to drugs. He's just mostly addicted to drugs.
Or maybe he's not addicted to drugs at all, and the reason why he's saying these things is just because he's insane.
Maybe.
That's a new twist.
The new twist. It wasn't drugs all along. He was just mentally unstable.
That's the title of this episode. It's not drugs. It's just insanity.
What an episode title.
But let's continue. So he says it calls it insane, and the next line is, "I play Russian roulette every day, a man's sport, with a bullet called life. Yeah, mama, called life." So he says he's playing Russian roulette every single day, and he calls it a man sport, implying that women can't play Russian roulette as well. So this clearly shows a bit of misogyny. But on top of that, he calls the bullet that he puts in the chamber to play Russian roulette is life. Now, you know how Russian roulette works, right?
Obviously,
you put
yes.
a bullet.
I played it a few
in the
times
chamber.
myself. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, yo, what?
Just kidding.
So typically how Russian roulette works is you have a revolver, you put one bullet in a 6-chamber thing, you roll it, and the game is basically, have you landed on blank or have you landed on the bullet? And when you land on the bullet, obviously it kills you, but here he's saying the bullet is life. So this puts a whole new twist on Russian roulette, basically saying that he is rolling, and if he lands on a blank, he gets no life. But if he lands on the bullet, then he gets life. So if he's playing this every single day and he's getting life every time, basically keeping him alive, that means he is landing on the bullet every single time he plays
Every single time,
roulette.
yes.
And this is maybe to show that if he is indeed doing the drugs, one of the days when he lands on a blank, he's not going to get life. And that's going to cause him his death. Maybe it's a symbolism of overdosing. That could be what he's getting at this with. Or if it's just him being insane and it's not the drugs, or maybe it's both. We're saying it's one or the other. Maybe it's just both. Can we just consider that? Maybe.
I'm sorry, I zoned out for a second. What?
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm the one this song is talking about.
Maybe he's starting to see the kombucha mushroom people sing around all day. Maybe that's what he was looking at. The more we talk about this song, the more it becomes true.
It's infectious.
Kombucha
It's contagious.
mushroom people. Holy crap! I think I see a mushroom person right there. I think it's
getting to him. It's getting to him. Chat. We're gonna have to.
It's literally right there. It's literally right there.
Wait, no, I see it. Like it's like on the bet. Chat. Are you not seeing that? Like you see that, right?
Yeah. Okay. And it's just sitting there. all day.
Maybe this guy was onto something.
Let's read the lyrics a little bit more to find out more about these mushroom people, or let's find out more about this particular guy who knows about the kombucha mushroom people, to see what he does and to see what actions he partakes in that maybe we should try to emulate. You know what I mean? So after his Russian roulette escapade, he follows it up by saying, "You know that every time I try to go where I really want to be, it's already where I am, because I'm already there." Now, I'm not gonna lie, that was really confusing the way I just sounded it out. So let's take this one sentence at a time. You know that every time I try to go, so he's trying to go somewhere where I really want to be. He wants to go somewhere that he really wants to be. He says he wants to go there because I'm already there. No, I'm sorry, I read that out of order. He says, where I really want to be, it's already where I am. So he's already where he wants to go. So where is this place that he wants to go but is already there?
Maybe it's this place where the mushroom people are. Maybe he wants to be with the mushroom people. Maybe we misinterpreted this all along. He's not trying to kill them. He wants to be in the place where they are. Maybe because
you could also view this as like he wants to go to where the mushroom people are so that he can have better access to them when he does consume them.
Right, it could be that too. Never considered that.
So, and the way he says it, he starts it by saying, "You know that every time I try to go." So here's the thing, we just made this revelation. We see the kombucha mushroom people now.
Right.
So he recognizes that we see it now. So
he's actually conversing.
You know.
He's actually conversing
He's
directly
conversing
with
us.
the viewer or the listener as he's singing the song, because he knows.
Yes.
He knows that in the first part of the song, the people are going to see the kombucha mushroom people.
Yes. So it's like, we know now that every time he tries to go where these people are, he finds out he's already with them because he is already within reach of consuming them, right? Which, by the way, let me just try something.
Did you just eat that? Wait, you don't know what that's gonna do.
Hold on, don't worry.
In your mouth.
Hey, look, Steven, don't worry, all right? It was just a baby one, so the effects are not going to be that severe.
But how do you know? Maybe the baby ones have the most severe effects. Like we don't know anything about these mushroom people. Like how can you be sure?
That is true. That is very true. You know what? Let's read through more of the song in order to figure out. So after he talks about being with them, the chorus plays again, and this chorus again reinforces what this song is about. This song is about the kombucha mushroom people. You know, the kombucha mushroom people sitting around all day. Who can believe you? Who can believe you? Let your mother pray. So I guess maybe that's what I should have done. I should have, before I consumed that mushroom person, I should have told them to let their mother pray.
Yeah, you probably should have.
I forgot about that step.
Crucial, important step.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all looking at me with disapproval now, unfortunately.
Well, you just ate one of their brethren,
or maybe
so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it could be fear. I think they're fearful of me because I just ate one of their newborns, and yeah, I'm still not feeling the effects, but we could be feeling it at some point.
Maybe, or you could be. I haven't eaten any because I saw the kombucha mushroom person that you showed on camera there. But as of yet, none have appeared over here for me. So maybe something's going on here.
All right. Well, I feel like how about this? How about you read out the chorus and you get involved and you read out the second verse? How about we do that? Well, let's switch turns of who's reading all this.
Okay.
And maybe with that, we'll start to get somewhere.
I need to.
So it's
So the chorus starts, okay, so it's the same chorus, the kombucha mushroom people sitting around all day, who can believe you, who can believe you, let your mother pray, and then sugar, and interestingly, he only says sugar once this time rather than twice.
He says it once. So he doesn't feel the need to reiterate sugar as much as he did before, but he still felt the need. He still felt the need to reiterate kombucha mushroom people in the exact length that he did before, right? So this shows that the sugar in question. Here's what I think: the song itself is called Sugar, but I don't really think that's the point of the song. I think he just named it Sugar so that we'd focus more on the sugar instead of focusing more on what the song's actually about, which is the kombucha mushroom people.
Right, maybe he's trying to draw. See, here's what I think. Right, he's written this song in a very interesting way. He's trying to draw attention away from the kombucha mushroom people by putting people like saying sugar, and he's making people like normal people would think, right, that this is just a sugar rush or some kind of drug trip, right? But he's doing this in such a way so that the people who actually take the time to analyze this song, like we're doing, will be able to see past the red herring of sugar and see that the song truly is about the kombucha mushroom people.
And on top of that, there's another question I want to ask, and I could ask them right now, but why are they called kombucha? Why that name in particular?
From what I know, from what I can remember,
they're making some hand gestures right now, but I'm not really able to. Hold on, let me pick one up and let me look at it real quick.
Be careful. Be careful doing that.
Can you do that hand gesture again? Oh, what's that? You can't do it because I ripped off your arms by picking you up. Oh, yeah, that's understandable. let me put you back on. Let's see if you can stitch it back together. Okay, go ahead.
You gotta be careful messing around with them like that, Will. They're fragile people.
It's fine. It's fine. They're just mushroom people. What's the worst that they can do, right?
Well, you already ate one, so I guess we'll find out. Anyway.
We'll find out. You know what?
He continues.
And don't worry, before I do eat another one, I will ask you to let your mother pray. Do not worry. Do not worry.
Anyway, after saying sugar only once, he continues with the next verse. I got a gun the other day from Sako, which is capitalized, so I'm assuming it's someone's name. It's cute, small, fits right in my pocket. Yeah, right in my pocket, in parentheses, sugar. And then my girl,
that's the other thing about, that's the other thing I should mention, by the way. Throughout the verses, the first two verses, he does, say sugar after every other lyric. So he does say it throughout the song, which is, again, I think still contributes as a red herring to him, wanting you to focus away from the main topic and focus to the red herring, which is sugar. So when you're reading out, don't fall for the red herring. Don't fall for saying sugar every single time. Just ignore it. It's in parentheses. It's not meant to be,
Yes.
So, but with that being said, this gun, he describes the gun. Well, let's forget about Soccer for right now. We will talk about him, but the gun, he said it's cute, it's small, and it fits right in my pocket.
So it's obviously a small handgun, something very small that he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. And what I'm getting from this is Sako is the name of one of the mushroom people that he's gotten to know. And this mushroom person has given him a gun. And see, the mushroom people, I'm going to pick another one up. As you can see, they're not that big. So any gun that they give you is not really going to be that big. Ain't that right?
Right.
Yeah, they agree with me. Yeah. So, and it's because it's small, it's also going to probably look cute just because of the absurdity of it being super small. And of course, it's going to fit right in your pocket. And I'm wondering, maybe this is why, the singer behind the song gets so lucky with that Russian roulette thing. Because this is a gun that has more odds stacked for the life boy.
Maybe it's especially because it came from these mushroom people, right? And they're not really that well understood. So possibly these mushroom people could have made a type of gun that doesn't work like a normal gun, and it's built to always let him win the Russian roulette.
Yeah, it's rigged. It's a Russian roulette gun that's rigged for him. So
right.
So it's something that fits right in his pocket, which is a point that he emphasizes 2 separate times. he really wants the viewers, he really wants the listener to know it does fit into his pocket. Because you know how guns usually require their own holsters because of how big they are, but this particular one, it fits in his pocket.
So it's obviously a bit of a smaller gun, which would make sense.
Further providing evidence that it is indeed a gun given to him by this particular mushroom person named Sako.
So he's evolved his relationship with the mushroom people throughout this song, right?
Yes.
He started by just saying that they were sitting around all day. Who can believe you? You know, maybe he wanted to
maybe one of the mushroom people got tired of sitting around all day and like, you know what, I want to do something. And when you want to do something out of boredom, what else do? You make a gun.
Right. And so he's developed his relationship, right? Not only is he, dealing with them and like getting, gifts from them in the form of a gun, right? But he also has started giving them names because they were never named before. But now this is the first time in the song that he names one of the mushroom people. So he's kind of become closer with them, if you can think about it.
Yeah. So now we get to this next part of the song, and this is where everything that we've been told about the outside, like everyone, outside of this man's, outside the singer's worldview, who are not believing him in the existence of these mushroom people, he provides a little more elaboration on some of them. So go ahead and read out the next few lyrics.
Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, pull up the lyrics again.
Yes, I have to pull up the lyrics again real quick. Okay. Where was I? Yes. My girl, she lashes out at me sometimes, and I just kick her, and then, ooh, baby, she's okay. In parentheses again, sugar. People are always chasing me down.
Again, that's red herring. You don't have to point the hell all the time.
Okay. People are always chasing me down, trying to push my face to the ground. So he's talking about his girl, which would presumably refer to his girlfriend, right? She lashes out at him sometimes. Now, is this, something out of malice that he's doing, that she's doing, right? Is she crazy?
She lashes out at him and then he just kick her.
Or is she trying to help him and maybe she can tell that he's going crazy seeing these mushroom people?
Alright, so we got these lyrics, and there's one particular line that you forgot to mention. There's one more lyric after he says, people are always chasing me down, trying to push my face to the ground. So people are chasing him, pushing his face to the ground. And his next line says, where all they do is suck out my brains. My brains. So now, all of a sudden, this recontextualized everything we know about all these other people. So if they are pushing him to the ground, sucking out his brains, that means the girl that he kicked and the people that are chasing him down, they are zombies. So this whole song takes place in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, a zombie apocalypse where maybe the mushroom people are they're trying to help him survive this zombie apocalypse.
And I think and here's the thing, because he sees the mushroom people, I think this further plays into he's not on drugs, he's just insane. This zombie apocalypse that he's been forced into has done a number on his mental state, and he is now going through a bit of psychosis in which he now exists in a world where both the zombie apocalypse and the kombucha mushroom people both exist at the same time. And it doesn't matter how long he stays in this world with the mushroom people, eventually reality crashes in, and the zombies that try to get him, he even mentioned how the girl who lashes out at him, he kicked her, and then he clarifies she's okay. So these zombies are quite strong.
They're very resistant.
Strong. Yes. So after this, it's not entirely clear what happened after this scenario that just breaks out of all these zombies coming in, pushing his face in the ground, trying to suck his brains out. Because it goes right back into the chorus where he, again, reminds you what the song is about. It's about I think this is him trying to remind himself, no, I'm not in a zombie apocalypse. I am in the universe with the kombucha mushroom people.
Yes.
It's like, enough talking about the zombie apocalypse time, man. Let me go back to this world a bit with the kombucha mushroom people. So we get this whole spiel. The kombucha mushroom people sitting around all day. Who can believe you? Who can believe you? And I think now knowing that the song takes place in a zombie apocalypse, that recontextualizes the sense of who can believe you. Now it's no longer a matter of nobody believing him because they think he's insane. No, nobody's believing him because nobody is able to believe him. Because
Right.
I think what the singer is saying is he is the only one. He's the only survivor in the zombie apocalypse.
He's the sole remaining. Maybe we were looking all this time about like how this person could potentially be insane or going on a drug trip, right? Maybe this singer or the writer of this song is the only sane person left in this zombie apocalypse.
Or maybe the zombie apocalypse is just another part of his insanity, and in reality, he's just a part of everyday life, and there is no zombie apocalypse. We need to, and I guess we will find out real quick. So after this chorus, the song itself kind of moves away from its metal thing, and it kind of strips back a little bit, and we get these segments of words where he says, "I sit in my desolate room, no lights, no music, just anger. I've killed everyone. I'm away forever, but I'm feeling better." So again, let's
So here's what I think, right? If we for now we keep this in the context of this being in a zombie apocalypse, right? He's killed everyone. Maybe everyone is referring to all the zombies that he's killed, right? Maybe he's talking about that, right? Like he's killed everyone. Maybe not literally everyone. Maybe it's just like figuratively everyone. He sits
like
in his
all the
desolate
zombies
room.
he's referring to as killing everyone, like
Right,
every one of
right.
the zombies.
And he sits in his desolate room, no lights, no music. He doesn't have any lights or music because, there's not really anything left to do that with. Just
And every
anger.
room he enters is now a desolate room because, again, he's the only survivor.
And he says just anger, so he's obviously angry about something, but what do you think? What do you think he's angry about?
Well, I mean, if you're in a zombie apocalypse and everyone else is dead, I'd be a little mad. I'd be a little peeved.
That's fair. I feel like that makes sense.
And after he said he's killed everyone, being the zombies, he says, "I'm away forever." He is away forever from anyone who could have possibly known him. But, in spite of that fact, he is feeling better. He does feel better about the zombies being dead. Because now, there's no more distractions from that takes him away from the mushroom people. The
Right.
mushroom people, I think it's
The
a
mushroom
not
people
really,
obviously clearly the true meaning of this song the whole time. We can't lose sight of that.
I think the mushroom people, I think it's a way for him to escape from the harsh reality. And this is where the song kind of trails off, where he says, "How do I feel? What do I say? Fuck you, it all goes away. How do I feel? What do I say? Fuck you, it all goes away. How do I feel? What do I say? In the end, it all goes away. How do I feel? What do I say?" And he just wraps it up.
Yeah, this is the part
And
when I
so-
was listening to the song, I could actually kind of understand the lyrics, and he basically just repeats that line, and he just like progressively
Yeah.
says it faster and faster.
That's until eventually it just gets to, "In the end, it all goes away. In the end, it all goes away. In the end, it all goes away. In the end, it all goes away."
Maybe this part of the song is the part where he's actually going insane, and he's just kind of realizing like where he is. Like he's the only person left in society. Zombie apocalypse, everybody's dead. All he has is the mushroom people, right? And he's just saying like in the end, it all goes away. Like humanity all goes away. Everything that he had, it all goes away. How does he feel? What does he say? He doesn't know how to feel about this.
It doesn't matter
It
it doesn't matter how he feels or what he says, because in the end, it all goes away.
Exactly. I think that's what he's really
And
trying to tell us here.
Yes. So that is the end of the song. It just cuts abruptly, which I think is that cut abruptly is just to signify, the end of the song, but also, the end of his life. and how he meets his demise. It could be from the mushrooms, it could be from the zombies. In that zombie attack, it could have been Ben.
I think that what would be the funniest way to consider that he meets his end eventually is that, remember back when he talked about playing Russian roulette every day and he had that special gun from the mushroom people that always let him win? Maybe it finally caught up to him and he finally lost at Russian roulette. And that's how this song ends.
Yes, exactly. And the entire song was a elaborate anti-gun message of
Yes.
be safe with guns.
Maybe
be safe with guns, and don't play silly games like Russian roulette.
Yes.
This song was made by the government to be an anti-gun message.
So that's gonna be the true meaning. That's gonna be the title of this episode.
That's the true meaning of this song. This song, Sugar, is about a guy who is the last survivor of a zombie apocalypse, who escapes to a world full of kombucha mushroom people, where he has a gun made by one of the mushroom people that acts as Russian roulette, but instead of the bullet killing him, the bullet gets him life, and the gun is rigged to always give him life until the very end, when the gun jams and it fires one of the blanks, and the blanks are the one that kills him.
Right.
And the message of the gun, and the whole message of the song is, don't play Russian roulette.
Yeah, that's the entire mess. So all this elaborate lyrics, everything that this guy says, it's framed as this insane guy in a zombie apocalypse with nothing but the mushroom people, the kombucha mushroom people, to keep him company, and saying, what does he say? It all goes away. All of this that the government gives us to hide the true secret message behind all of it, which is don't play Russian roulette.
Yeah, I find it very interesting. They're against Russian roulette and they're against you having guns. And not only are they against you having guns, they are against you having guns in the event of a threat, such as a zombie apocalypse. So basically, the government is trying to tell us that in the event of a threat, whatever the threat may be, don't use the guns to defend ourselves, which I think the government is trying to tell us in order to make us okay. I can't even go on with that. That's just getting way too conspiracy.
Yeah, that would be getting into the realm of maybe some politics that we don't really want to touch.
Yeah. I think our interpretation is fine the way it is, where it's just a guy who is part of the zombie apocalypse and is the last survivor of it. And his form of escapism is the mushroom people. Which, by the way,
I'm gonna have to go back. Once I get done with the podcast, my dad's sitting out in the living room, probably hearing us talk about this, and he's gonna be like, "Who are the kombucha mushroom people?"
What is Will trying to teach you about? He's not trying to teach you anything bad, is he?
What is he infecting your brain with?
What kind of brain rot are you consuming right now? Because it's one of the things where, without context, if you were to just talk about kombucha mushroom people, that just sounds like a brain rot thing. Out of context, right?
Yes, very much.
You just imagine a PNG of the mushroom with the Roblox Chad face put on it, and you just those brain rot edits of the chicken McNugget with the Roblox face.
Yeah, I've seen those.
It's basically like that, but with the mushroom. It's
yeah, that's what he thinks that you're showing me right now. To be fair, my dad probably doesn't even know what brain rot is.
Yeah, because he actually consumes intelligent stuff and doesn't consume TikTok.
Yeah,
which, I mean, good for him, honestly.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't either, but I consume YouTube Shorts, which I guess you could make the argument is just as bad.
I mean, I watch YouTube Shorts too. It's just because YouTube has an algorithm that at least tries to serve you stuff that you actually want to watch. I've kind of conditioned it not to give me brain rot.
Yeah, condition it to not give you brain rot.
Yeah.
Whereas I think TikTok just gives it to you no matter what, just because it's popular.
Probably because TikTok has a lot more brain rot than YouTube short. At least in my experience, I
Yeah.
found that it does. Like, I don't mean to bash. I mean, I do mean to bash TikTok, but not for that reason.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, I think that's the end of the episode. The kombucha mushroom people that I'm seeing right now, they are hoping that I leave and give them a chance to escape.
Yes.
So, and after I'm done, and after I come back, I'm gonna have to before going to bed, I'm gonna have to like shake off these mushroom people so that they're not standing on my bed as I sleep. Because that would be bad. I already had some RA people come in to the room while I slept. I don't need kombucha mushroom people doing the same. But yeah. Anyways, that is all for this episode. And as always, please like and subscribe for another episode of To Whom It May Concern. Podcast out.